indicate whether the following statements are true or false. So students, here is a set of statements. Now let us learn whether these statements are true or false. The first one is micturition is carried out by a reflex. So here micturition. So micturition is a process in which the urine which is stored in the urinary bladder will be expelled out. So this process is called micturition, and the reflex is called Micturition Reflex, whose center is present in the pons of the brain. There are stretch receptors present in the urinary bladder. As the volume of the urine increases in the urinary bladder, the signal to the brain will be sent and the urge to urinate will be induced. So it is a voluntary process, and therefore micturition is considered to be a reflex, as an act of a reflex. The statement is true. The center for this reflex is present in the pons of the brain. Now coming to the next statement, ADH helps in water elimination, making the urine hypotonic. So students, in the previous question we learned that the glomerulus filtration rate, the volume will be regulated by the juxtaglomerular apparatus, and during that process ADH will be released. Suppose the GFR volume decreases, the antidiuretic hormone will be released by the pituitary gland. As the ADH concentration increases, the water from the primary urine will be reabsorbed, and hence the urine will become hypertonic. So here the statement says that the ADH helps in water elimination, making the urine hypotonic. So it is false. So when ADH is present, the urine will be hypertonic and not hypotonic, because ADH induces reabsorption of water from the kidney. So more water will be reabsorbed. So the second statement is false. Now coming to the third statement, protein-free fluid is filtered from the blood plasma into the Bowman's capsule. So here is the structure of the nephron. So in the nephron, the glomerular capillaries. So the capillaries of the blood vessels are called glomerular, and here there are many slits and this membrane is very thin. From this membrane, the blood filters and reaches the glomerular capsule, and the filtrate contains smaller components like ions, salts, amino acids, glucose, urea, etc. But larger components such as plasma proteins, blood cells, blood platelets, WBC, RBC does not enter into the Bowman's capsule, because the membrane is very thin and only smaller molecules can filter and reach the glomerular filtrate. So protein-free fluid is filtered from the blood plasma into Bowman's capsule. The statement is true. So in this filtrate there will be no plasma proteins. So smaller amino acids will be present, but proteins are not present. The next statement, Henley's loop plays an important role in concentrating the urine. Yes. So if you observe the structure of a nephron, so nephron has got tubules, PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, DCT, distal convoluted tubule, and in between these two there is a loop of nephron which is called as loop of Henley or Henley's loop. Now this loop helps in reabsorption of water, and hence it plays an important role in concentrating the urine. So once the water has been reabsorbed from the primary urine becomes more concentrated. So the statement is true. Now the next statement, glucose is actively reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule. So students, as the glomerular filtrate, the primary urine reaches the proximal convoluted tubule, so this filtrate contains many useful substances. So these are glucose, amino acids, water, salt. So certain useful substances are present which cannot be eliminated. So this has to be reabsorbed, and that reabsorption occurs in the PCT, that is proximal convoluted tubule. Now, since glucose cannot pass the plasma membrane as it is bigger in size and this cannot pass through the lipid bilayer, it should be actively absorbed. So, there are a set of proteins which helps in the transportation of glucose into the cell by spending an energy in the form of ATP. So, glucose will be actively reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule. Actively in the sense there is a spend of energy in the form of ATP. So, again the statement is correct. So, here we learned 5 statements. So, out of that, micturition is carried out by a reflex. The statement is true. ADH helps in water elimination, making the urine hypotonic. It is false. Protein-free fluids is filtered from the blood plasma into the Bowman's capsule. It's true. Henley's law plays an important role in concentrating the urine. Is true. And the last one, glucose is actively reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule, is true.